What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 9 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Aranessa Saltspite campaign. So as we saw last time, it was Madeline's day as she moved around in the Badlands, destroying territories belonging to the Cult of Sigmar, and quite successfully, I might add, considering she currently has the weaker of the armies that we have on the field. Well, other than the Recruiter's army, I guess. But anyway, we left off the campaign, or the episode rather, with Harry Halfmast being attacked by Jovi Hart here, and the troops are okay. Well, we certainly have to fight these guys as we are isolated and without support with this army, but I think we can manage. Our cannons should come in handy against all of these knights, but otherwise we'll have to be careful about them ripping our poor zombie pirate gunnery mob bombers apart. Before we get started, as this is our only choice, once again we have managed to reach the likes and comments threshold for this episode, so it'll be an hour long, and once again the offer stands 300 likes and 50 comments, and the next episode will be an hour long as well. I've been generally pretty darn good at reaching those thresholds this time around, in the previous campaign as well. I used to do all 30 to 40 minute episodes on the channel before, but hey, threshold's certainly working. Anyway, we are good to go. Let's go. Alrighty, away we go again. The enemy army is damaged, of course, but not so damaged that they don't think they stand a chance. So, yeah, plus they've got a fair few extra troops coming in as a reinforcing a little mini army, and perhaps they'll be able to overwhelm us. I'm going to speed this up a little bit as the enemy refuses to move towards us until the reinforcements are here, but on the bright side, this means we can send the Ogre Man-Eaters out to annoy the enemy with a little bit of pistol skirmish action. And there we go. Fortunately, the enemy has deployed its Empire Knights on the flanks, where our armor-piercing Ogre pistols can come in to decent effect. They would be wasted on units with small model counts. Wait. It's the reverse of that. They would be wasted on units with large model numbers. There we go. I knew that wasn't quite right. But fortunately, the knights, glowing though they are, shining as they are here under the Slaneshi skies, well, they're gonna be bloody and, well, still shiny, I guess, but at least bloody. And there we go, knocking a few more of them down as they try to get away. I wonder where the knights shine so brightly compared to the regular units. Huh? Well, I guess these guys shine a decent bit too. These guys are just crazy. Something about the Slaneshi sky, I guess. Kind of also makes sense. Mirror guard and all that. So yeah, anyway, we've decently heavily damaged one of the units of Empire Knights, but they're booking it on out of there, and the Ogres will follow and continue to skirmish. Looks like some Pistoliers will join the fray, some pistol-on-pistol action, but we will back off, firing as we move. And gonna hide behind that hill there while the enemy Pistoliers follow along. There we go, and they're gonna fire into the back of our Ogres, they're gonna hit us, and then we are going to hit back. Alrighty, a nice little skirmish, and just gotta keep drawing them forward to continue chasing the Ogres. They can take a few of these hits, they're clearly not all that damaged. Besides, there's a reason we can get them deployed here without support, because in fact they have artillery support, as the carronades can do a little bit of area denial against the enemy. Either they make their way forward to get in range of our carronades, or they stay back and get hit by the Ogre pistols. That looks pretty nice. Nice little opening skirmish we've got going on. A few more shots from those carronades, although a few of them are going a little bit wide. And not to worry, the Pistoliers are broken and out of here. Although I think they're not so damaged that they won't come back. Speed it up once again a little bit, and let's see. Did that annoy the enemy army sufficiently to try us? Is the question, and maybe. At the very least, they're annoyed enough to send 3 units of their shiny knights with their shiny armor to try to hit those ogres, but once again, we're going to move right into the firing area of our carronades, and there we go. You've entered the kill zone once again, and the carronades will fire. Ogres will continue running. Please stop doing that column formation. And now it's ogre pistol fire and cannon fire at the same time. Not a great time to be a knight. And then, of course, if they make it up that hill, they'll have all of our animated hulks to contend with. I suppose what we could have done is rush the enemy, but I think this is actually working out fairly well. Better than I was hoping. Due to the relative fast running speed of the ogre man-eaters, they can do a decent amount of skirmishing even against slower enemy cavalry units. Certainly against something like Heartseekers, they would have had a bad time, because they would have gotten caught immediately, but the Empire Knights with their, 70 speed, are just a little bit too slow to deal with this sort of thing. Anyway, 2 out of the 3 units are out, and then this third one is broken as well, and getting the heck out of there. Gonna take a few more shots from those ogre pistols, though it looks like a single unit only tends to get targeted. It is a little bit too bad that the ogre pistols refuse to fire at multiple enemies, and instead seem to target a single one. And that's why I was saying it would be wasted then too. Well, that one targeted too. Generally wasted if targeting units with too many units. Models, too many models, damn it. Oh, every time. But anyway, there we go. At least I can hit 2 of them at once. And we saw the very good effectiveness of the ogre pistols knocking down that Ragnarok spider and that Doomwheel with no problem whatsoever. And you gotta keep them in mind for that particular purpose, acting as snipers once again. Anyway, we've destroyed pretty much the entire cavalry wing with the exception of 1 unit of outriders of this enemy. They still refuse to come forward. Well, that's fine by us. The ogres need a little pick-me-up, a little snack after all that effort they've went through, so they're going to make their way forward and charge this unit of crossbows. Now that they have no knights to support them, their infantry can't actually catch our ogres, so we can keep harassing their infantry and then get out as needed. And there we go. It may be a Vampire Coast campaign, but we still get to see some ogre play and some mortal Sartosans, mortal auxiliaries, I guess, play, which I think we can appreciate. Alright, well, this unit of poor crossbows is having a bad day. They've called in some spearmen to try to help them out. Which doesn't make sense. Get a little bit of that anti-large in there, and it looks like that was sufficient to kick the anthill and annoy the enemy force. Charge has done some damage, hurting a little bit the 2 units of spears, but by and large simply breaking 1 of the unit of crossbows, and we're gonna get the heck out of there. 87 kills on you and 17k damage, and 89 kills and 16ish k damage. This before the battle has even started. Pretty darn good to the ogre man-eaters. A little bit unfortunate that they're completely out of ammunition now, but they can still A, fight in melee, and B, chase enemies down and hit them in the back line, because they'll be faster than any other unit we have in this particular army. Anyway, it looks like a couple of the man-eaters did get stuck back there, but oh well, it does happen. We're going to speed it up once again a little bit, allowing the enemy to make their way forward, and the carronades will begin firing once more, and soon the mortars will follow suit. Alright, get a few more shots in there. Don't allow those crossbows to do damage to the ogres with impunity. And well, if it isn't another unit of knights. Looks like at least 1 of them survived the skirmish. But will they survive to close the distance when all the carronades are firing at them? I think not all of them, actually, but enough. And ooh, directly off of the horse. Ouch. That's gotta hurt. Alright, keep on chasing them, knights, as best you can, but hey, still a good job surviving this long. There we go. Ooh, the mortar fire and the carronade fire at the same time. Nice job. And then we move in our Lord Harry Halfmast to stop them in their tracks. Why the Lord out by himself? He has Cavalry Bane on him, so stops that charge bonus and acceleration, and generally annoys those knights. Oh, lovely. And it's not like the regular Empire Knights are a strong enough knight unit to actually kill him, and he's got his polearm to specialize at killing these guys anyway. There we go, plus with him closer to the enemy army, he's able to get those denizens of the deep up and running and in the way of more enemy infantry units. And there we go. And though really it's the crossbows we want to tie up as the animated hulks make their way down the hill, and so do the bombers start marching forward as well. Alright, been having a decent amount of fun with this army so far. Animated Hulk's absolutely ripping those remnants of knights apart. Now that, now that they've joined Harry Halfmast to help him out. And bombs away, flying at the enemy, especially those enemies that are tied up by our summons. There's a fog of the damned coming down, and the battle is well and truly joined. Though, to be fair, I think the skirmish did enough damage as to the rest of the battle not being particularly concerning. Oh, you gotta love that rain of bombs coming down. They're not going to be as effective as the Imperial Outriders or the Imperial... I forget the name of the unit. There's a sort of ground Outrider unit. The Bordermen, that's it. Which are also just obnoxiously good at that sort of thing. The range and the arc and the... damage that they put out is absolutely obscene, but hey, we can still use the bombers to great effect, especially in the early game, and especially when combined with monstrous infantry that don't suffer an insane amount of damage when being hit by friendly fire, like our own infantry would. Anyway, the ogres or the undead ogres are in, and the enemy are pretty much out. As it looks like the battle will be ours, and the enemy go flying everywhere, whether it be by the arms and cannons and anchors and whatnot of the animated hulks, or whether it be by the bombs or mortars. You gotta love Vampire Coast, and there we go, chase him down. This Laneshi map looks quite nice as well. And that's another Fog of the Dam. Not that we really needed this one, as it looks like that forces the enemy off the field to shatter and die. Looks like there's still an enemy Empire captain and some lords to chase down. In fact, a lot of units are left to chase here. And a cannon, and a captain to cannon down if we can manage to land a shot with one of the carronades. Alright, come on, carronades. He's got like 1 HP on him. You gotta snipe him. There he is, come on. Almost. There you go. Alrighty, well, with the captain down, there's a lot of chasing to do, but the rest can be done off-screen. Well done to the army. Let's see what the damage was ultimately. Alright, there we go. Pretty darn effective, I would say. I think that the early portion of the battle, the skirmish portion, essentially decided the flow of the battle thereafter, with the Man-Eater's Ogre pistols essentially running out of ammo, gunning down all of those knights, all while safe under covering fire from the carronades. It worked out quite well. Then, of course, we went in with the various animated hulks, and while they did take a little bit of damage, nothing crazy, and mostly it was HP damage done to them, so a bunch of them lost about, or went down to about half HP, but then, of course, it didn't lose all that many models, as the enemy don't have a lot of units here that have a very high alpha, thereby spreading their damage around and not knocking individual models out, which works in our favor. I'd love to assimilate here, I really would, but 2.5k is a little bit difficult to pass up, isn't it? And we could fight again, and hopefully... Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna ransom. Even though this army will survive. We need the money. No, we just need the money. Alright, Exiles of Nehek performed Incantation of Ksar. Some enemies killed in battle. A second dragon... something gem. Another riddle. For a great hoard of treasure, but super far from us. Well, we don't have a hero to send up there at the current time anyway, so that doesn't change things. And oh, I'm glad I did not assimilate, because in this particular case... the army is near to full HP just from being in a camp stance. Ain't it beautiful? Now, what was it again? I know it's been a day, guys. I forgot what the value was. You want 8.4 for breaking the defensive alliance, and you want...
How about this?
You want 0. Why do you want 0? Huh, interesting. I guess I don't like them anymore. Slightly deteriorating due to treaties and stuff? Well... I'm not going to look a gift to Norskin in the mouth. Let's go for Clan Scryer Break Defensive Agreement. Good, this isolates Clan Scryer, but more importantly, will allow us to attack Wulfric without having to worry about getting into combat with Scryer. I'd probably like to do the same thing with these guys as well, especially considering they don't particularly like us and they do like the Norskins. Yeah. That didn't change the value of it, though. Alright, we can trade them one of the settlements for it. Now, I guess the question here is going to be what we do. We could try to go for their main stack... Oh. Huh. Interesting, wait. They have 2 settlements. I was gonna say we should destroy this one, but I'm wrong. No, we shouldn't. What we should do is attack here at Solsona and occupy it. This will allow us to, just auto-resolve that, and occupied, please don't bother sacking or raising it, yeah, we'll just trade it away, and enchanted shield. Well, this will allow us to hopefully draw their garrison out by virtue of the second army existing outside. It'll probably stand outside Gualcazar, and then we'll destroy them in the field, take Gualcazar as well, and everything will be nice. If the plan works. Plans don't always work. Anyway, Harry Half-Mast, obviously your full-on ogre army, and thus we have to get drowned and bound to buff them up. Honestly, the buffs ain't great for them, but a little bit of extra speed ain't too bad. Certainly nothing I turn my nose up at, so let's do that. I might get a couple Mourngulls in this army. I wasn't going to, it was going to be very ogre-heavy, but I've been noticing this army is having a little bit of a difficult time chasing enemies down, rather. Even though the animated hulks are faster than our extremely slow-moving undead zombies at 25 movement speed, 38 is not really good enough to chase down standard infantry, which are 30 to 32, 34 in the case of the crossbows. So, yeah, and they're just too slow at chasing. And an army needs to be able to chase, unless it has absolutely overwhelming range superiority, or else the enemy armies just escape and then keep doing things, and it's annoying. Animated hooks. Let's give you a name, the Beached Boys. Actually, there was no "the" in the name suggestion, I think. Or was there? Or did I forget it? Let's just go Beach Boys for now. There we go. And yeah, okay, this looks good to me. Next up, Nessie. You... Wait. Oh, you're in March stance. You will not be able to reach Thorek. Okay, that's fine. I would like you to then go into raiding stance right here. And, ooh, I should have checked this. No, there's nobody here. We're okay. Nobody panic. Everything's fine. Alright, Nessa, you're gonna go there. Recruiter Sea Legs, can you also raid? Yes, you can. Fantastic. And go right beside Nessie. And the two of you together. And we'll, first of all, swap the Man-Eaters with Ogre Pistols with, I guess, a couple of the units of Sartosan Militia. I plan to essentially have 4 Ogre Pistols and then 4 elite Sartosan Mercenaries, as in Aranessa will have a sort of joint army with both living and dead. I'm going to make an all-living army eventually anyway, but we need to borrow a living faction's artillery for that, as otherwise we'd have dead artillery crew. Maybe Skaven, if we can pull it off with Clan Scryer, as per the plan, if the plan succeeds. Anyway, you two stay there. Thorek's not going to attack you both together. Maddie, who did such a great job last episode, you are not yet close enough to the Citadel of Myrmidia, so you're going to go into raiding stance and then move on up. Oh. 15-14. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. If we raid like this for a few turns, we should be able to get decent value. Kalknir will probably need to trade you, but let's just keep an eye on you for a bit. You... I was gonna say go to Videnza, but what we can do is check... yes, so see, Clan Scuttle has only this one territory, which means there's no need to go to Videnza, because that's full of Scryer and they won't appreciate it. Let's instead start moving towards Harry, who really needs the vampire lore in order to be able to heal up his hulks. I guess we'll delete the last Hulk, and that's the only Hulk that's not named, so that works. Or maybe one of the mortars, I don't know. The mortars do generally work reasonably well with the monstrous units, I'll think about it. Then there's something that we really want to do. We really want to upgrade Sartosa, the main settlement. The problem is it's ludicrously expensive. Like, ludicrously expensive. 13k. The reason why this is so important is this. The Dragon Tooth Lighthouse gives us all sea regions are made visible to your faction, which would be very, very valuable for us. Though I would imagine it also uncovers a lot of other factions, so that'll screw with our diplomacy a bit. But oh well. The pirates should be able to see everything. Alright, don't collect the income here, and actually, no, you know what, do collect the income. I lied. A River Aboros Olsona, we can... You know what, we'll keep this because we'll trade it so it'll be worth more. Let's see how much... Let's see how much you're worth, Kalknir. They want to trade. Ooh, if they want to trade, that means others might want to trade. Clan Scryer wants to trade. I'm gonna have to go with Clan Scryer on this one. I don't know whether the Blue Roses will survive. Oh, their trading is actually more valuable. And they both have units that would be valuable to us, but nonetheless, I think I'm going to go with Scryer for now. I mean, potentially we could do both, if it's possible. Oh, and they'll give us 1,000 gold for this. Yes, please. Very nice, Scryer. Thank you, thank you. And a caravan of Blue Roses are still willing to trade, and so are Rapturous Excess, but yeah. Trade settlement. Kalknir. 39, very nice. And you don't have enough money. Oh, we could do a defensive alliance with you. Now, we do need to ally with the Vampire Counts faction in order to get access to their units. The problem with this right now is we don't know whether we actually end up siding with Wurzag or with Gorsty. And I would like to know. Military access. We can do military access, but it's not like we're gonna come down here. We could probably force them into a war with somebody, but... I mean, Exiles of Nehek, it doesn't really help us all that much, and it would be nice if we could force them into a war with Teclis, but we're not at war with Teclis, so that doesn't really help. Wait, we gotta figure this out. Trading places, yeah, thanks. Free cash. You are currently at war with who? Cult of Sigmar, or not at war with Cult of Sigmar. Oh, you're not at war with Cult of Sigmar. 39, okay, that's not gonna happen. Gwalkazar, no, it's not gonna happen. Ghost of Glan Boreal, no, it's not gonna happen. I was trying to figure out a way to get Wurzag and the Blue Roses working together. Wurzag is not going to appreciate the big old gift that we give to the Blue Roses. But we can't really give it to anybody else. I mean, Barak Var, Kalknir is worth 4.7k to you, but you don't like us very much. And going to minus 200, yeah, they're going to declare war on us. It's inevitable because they like the Cult of Sigmar who hates us. I think the Blue Roses are the only way, and I don't want to keep this around in case it gets destroyed, attacked by somebody. Now, we could declare war on Teclis right now, and then force the Blue Roses into a war with him as well, but that might completely screw over the Blue Roses. Do we care about the Blue Roses enough for that to be a concern? What we do care about is potentially having random elven armies pop up. You know what? I think we're going to ignore that for now. Let's see what happens. Kalknir to you. We'll go... We'll do the trade agreement next turn, I think. And then we'll just take all the money. I'm not going to bother with military access at the current... Actually, you know what? Screw it. Do military access. It might be... It could potentially be valuable if we have to cross this territory at some point. Yeah, alright, good luck to you. And this. And the reason I didn't do the trade agreement is because I want to get more money from him for it next turn, as long as it's still up, and let's hope that it is. Alrighty, that gave us a decent amount of cash, and that will have funded our upgrade of Sartosa, which will hopefully allow us to get that Dragon Tooth Lighthouse soon. A very nice pickup, though. The expenditure, the horrific expenditure. Alright, let's see what else we gotta upgrade that is worth our money. We've got Trontio ready for an upgrade to Tier 2. Sartosa itself we don't need to see. And Lucchini. You know what? Let's get our first pirate fort up and running. I mean, we need them up and running everywhere, really. Also horrifically expensive, but it is what it is. We also gotta remember we need to save up for the lighthouse and any new troops that we desire to build. But it's okay for now. I guess we could upgrade one of these. What's the likelihood that this goes down now that Thoric... You know what, we'll wait a couple more turns just in case. Oh, actually in a couple more turns Miragliano will be ready for an upgrade. But oh well, skip, and unturn. Did I forget anything? Maybe, I don't know. It's too late. Alright, Thoric is going to run, you coward, Thoric. You absolute coward. Fight Aranessa. Fight and die. Wulfric, are you ready for war? He is indeed ready for war, just as the defensive alliance goes. And with Scryer now... damn. If this had happened last turn, we would have been able to swap... Let me think about this. And we would have been able to force the... Caravan of Blue Roses to do this. We could try calling our allies to help. Let's see what happens. Allies have refused to join. Alright, the Bloody Hands have refused, which means they're no longer our ally, but we don't care that much about them. This is then good that we didn't ally with Teclis. It'll mean we'll throw our lot in with the Blue Roses instead. Alright, well at least that decides as to who we're going with. We now just need to make sure that we power up the Blue Roses sufficiently so that they don't die. And we will soon be going after Wurzag as well. Well, you know what? Maddie has a lot of stuff to do. She's been doing good and she will continue to do good. Here then. Alrighty, next up. Nessie. What I would like you to do is several things. First of all, go into regular stance. And right here. Just along the road, thank you. Then, Recruiter Sea Legs, you're going to go into Parlay Stance, and you're going to grab Kazad Citizen. And I'm going to hope that the auto resolve doesn't completely screw us over. Yeah, it's fine. We will occupy the place like so. Though, jury's out on whether we actually keep it. Also, two things need to now be done. First of all, you upgrade Bind to Service. Then, we take the Dragonbane Gem. Did I say Dragonhorn Gem? And turn it into another item. An Obsidian Lodestone, okay for casters, but generally meh. Channeling Staff I don't really care about. Wand of Jet is probably the better pick here. Yeah, I prefer the power recharge. When you need it, you need it. Let's take out the Channeling Staff and the Scroll of Power and fuse them as well. Into a Brass Cleaver. Now that's a nice pickup. Now, who needs a Brass Cleaver? That would be Harry Halfmask, because he's generally blobbed up around these guys. I do like the sort of anti-heroes on him, though. You know what? We will... He doesn't have magical attacks himself, does he? No, he doesn't. Well, you know what? He's getting the Brass Cleaver for now, but we'll probably swap it out in a little bit. Okay, now we have to be careful about all this in case Wulfric comes around. Because he will, but this does still work for us. We don't want to establish a Pirate Cove here because we'll be gone shortly. But we will want to establish Pirate Coves up here somewhere. Somewhere too far away from us right now. Then, Nessie, you are in range of this guy. And possibly of Thoric as well. I mean, I guess we just go straight for Carrick Grom, but... Ooh. He's got a lot of stuff. You know what? I'd love to do this as a field battle, because I think it'll be a much better battle. I don't know whether we can manage to do it, but considering the sheer amount of troops, I'm reasonably sure that we can at least try. Taunt for Nessie. That's a fairly strong debuff, and we're gonna need it because Thoric is very difficult to bring down as a lord. Gunnery White, you've got your immortality now, so even if you die, you don't die. Sharkbait, what's the likelihood that you get attacked? I'm thinking we still go for ammunition. Ammunition upgrades are more valuable to Vampire Coast than other factions by simple virtue of the fact that they get the more powder ability, or black powder plenty ability rather, which makes them do more damage above ammunition percentages. Anyway, Morngul Hunter, Billy Butler, hard to hit for you, and we should try to get into Foe Seeker, so I guess a Ravenous attack. Or possibly Scarred Vet, to lean further into... I mean, they're both fine. Now, you know what, let's go Ravenous attack first, and then Foe Seeker. You're vigorous anyway, so this doesn't matter nearly as much. The vigor, but at least the speed for when you chase. Next up, Jesse Rains. Your replenish troops is maxed out, which is great. We will definitely need the Fog of the Damned in this battle, but... What's our mana at? Oh, it's actually at 105. So this may be a good time to get Kraken's Pull, then. Kraken's Pull it is. I'd like to get Earthing, but if we're gonna cast Kraken's Pull here... Damn, 25 mana. It's basically a quarter of our mana for a single spell. And it's expensive. What's the duration on this? It's on 16 seconds. If we can get them to blob up, it can be very, very nasty. So, let's hope that we can. Otherwise, I generally prefer spammy spells. And Nessie, switch stances. And away you go. This is gonna be an epic fight. They're not gonna run. They have twice the units we do, and our units are weak. Valiant defeat. And that's what I like to see. Lots and lots of long beards. Lots and lots of units, lots and lots of heroes and lords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And the Ironbreakers, yeah, away we go. Alright indeed, let's see if we can pull this off. 2 full stacks stand against us, though, and we do have a major advantage here. By the looks of it, the main enemy host will be moving onto the field, coming down from this mountain pass. And when you know the enemy is using a mountain pass, you damn well set an ambush. So we've set up Queen Bess and the mortars to fire directly where all the enemy units will start moving onto the field. We're not going to trap them here because it might feel a little bit cheap, even though we could, but trapping them against Queen Bess will make sure that Queen Bess just insta-kills them all by herself, so let's not rely on that. Anyway, and we're going to start the battle off with a little bit of action against this little mini-army deployed outside of the enemy settlement, and Billy Butler already working on the enemy Dwarf Lord here, who's trying to bonk away with his hammer, but alas, it is but a standard hammer. And not a magical one. And on top of that, Aranessa and Jesse are both moving in to fight here. Or at least their rotting Prometheans are. And it's crab superiority once again. Oh, I like seeing these two fight together. Can't wait to build our full crab army. Maybe I'll give Dick Bootycatcher the all-crab army. Might be fun. Because it'll be an iconic army, and it'll have the most iconic legendary lord as well. Anyway, it looks like Aranessa and Jesse have forced the enemy High Lord away to reinforce... High Lord? Let's say High Lord? Yeah, High Lord. Huh. Well, Lord, whatever. Forced the enemy Lord to break. Similarly, the enemy miners and single unit of quarrelers are out of here as well, being chased down a little bit by our ogres and by Mr. Billy Butler. Ah, you gotta love all those slows that he does. They're pretty insane. Dwarfs are already slow, then the poison slows them further, then the chilling aura slows them further, putting them down to 12 move speed. Half the speed of a shambling undead zombie. And that's a speed reduction that can't be taken off for as long as the poisoner attacks. So, yeah. Pretty great use when you get these Morngul Haunters with that poison on them. Anyway, I'm gonna help out attacking the enemy lord, but the enemy main stack is here as well, and that's a lot of dwarfs, and that's just their beginning. There we go. and this will be the first use of our big spell, our huge Kraken's Pull Vortex, which will hopefully dish out some decent damage. And on top of that, with the speed reduction that it applies to these units, that will combine with Queen BESS and with our mortars, slowing the enemy down and allowing more of the enemy units to get trapped by the explosions, or in the explosions and the vortex at the same time. And there we go, there we go. Of course, there is far too many dwarf units here to actually destroy like this. These aren't Dreadquakes after all, but nonetheless. And damn, yeah, the effect of this is just absolutely killing my PC. Sorry about all the dropped frames and the uglier graphics while it does that. Ugh. Can't even properly move it around. Oh, it froze for a second. It might crash, or are we good at? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh, hopefully it survives. Game. Oh, no. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have been looking this close to the action. Let's see if we keep going. All right. Well, we've seen the bombardment. It's crazy. There's a lot of it. There's more dwarfs moving on the field, and in fact, some of them have peeled away from where they've entered the fray. But I'm going to just stay away from the location where all the effects are happening because they're too much for my PC. Alright, well, Queen BESS and the mortars can continue firing. There's more enemies where that came from, and now it's time for them to enter the range of our gunnery white. You can just snipe on up here. Nice little stable position for him to take shots from. Together with all of his deck gunner pals. And we gotta enjoy them in this army while we can, as they won't be here forever. Over on this side, we've got the enemy unit of Iron Breakers. I think one of the units of Iron Breakers. I think they had a second one. As well as those enemy gyrocopters. There was another gyrocopter out here, but unfortunately for it, it decided to flank us and ran right over this blob of 2 units of Ogre Pistols and 3 units of Sartosan Militia, which were all hidden in the trees and promptly exploded those poor gyrocopters. There's another one here, and we do have to be wary of those brimstone guns, as they are pretty good at knocking out low model count units like these ogres, so we're going to try to focus said gyrocopters down with the ogre pistols. Alright, brought it down by maybe 20% of its HP, a few more volleys into it, there we go, and a second unit of Ogre Pistols joins the fray, bringing the first of the gyrocopters down. We're also going to move our shambling barrels, or actually both of our deck gunner units, in to help, and it looks like those copters aren't gonna get the heck out. Can't allow them to do whatever they please, there we go. And beautiful. How's the main battle proceeding? Well, the battle lines haven't quite been joined, but our denizens of the deep have been summoned and have annoyed the enemy for a few seconds. An enemy Rune Lord, or actually that's an enemy Thane, tried to move in, but we stopped him with a Spearfisher's Net and allowed our Sartosan Militia and our Ogre Pistols to bring him down. Once again, pirates don't fight fair, and this feels quite mean. But sorry, Thane, you will have achieved absolutely nothing of this battle. On the bright side, though, by virtue of us focusing down on the Thane with all of these units, the enemy was able to throw a few of those satchel charges at our Sartosan Militia and damage them a little bit. We've also taken a few more hits to the other Sartosan Militia back here from the enemy catapult, though Queen BESS has by now seen it off the field. Looks like Thoric is trying to face off against Aranessa here. But he's having a very bad time, and in fact I guess is too low level to face off against her now, because she's more or less at full HP, and he's basically done for. Which is pretty impressive, as Thoric is generally extremely hard to kill. I just guess that the AI has not yet built him to do so. And is he too low level? Does he have Clad Bracak available or no? No, yes he does, it's right here. And you gotta watch out for that, as that thing can do a ton of damage, but maybe he missed, maybe he wasted it or something. I don't know. Anyway, the battle continues, but it looks like not for much longer, as the bounty power has shifted to about 90%, and in fact, surprisingly quickly, the battle becomes ours. Aranessa well, actually, she stopped fighting Thorek once he started to run, and we sent in Billy Butler, our Lord Killer, or our Hunter, and our Haunter, to chase him down and make sure he went down for good. And with that little bit of leadership shock, finished off the rest of the leadership, both of the dwarfs, and the battle's ours. And just like that. Much quicker than I was expecting, but coming down that pass was not so great for them. Plus, and this was kind of difficult to see, and maybe what contributed to all that frame drop and hiccuping that my PC was doing, we have the two army abilities that we can see here. The not the Norscan Roar, the Zufbar 42 pounder. Actually, Norscan Roar and Zufbar 42 pounder, it doesn't really matter. The two guns army abilities. Once we use the Kraken's Pull right here, we can still see where the Kraken's Pull was. And we used both of the abilities on the enemy while they were slowed down, on top of dropping shots from BESS and the mortars. Anyway, there's a lot of enemies to chase down, especially those Iron Breakers, so that we don't have to auto-resolve again, but it'll take a while, so it's done off-screen. Alrighty, not too bad. I feel a little bad, but not that bad, as once again the AI does like to take advantage when you get on the field yourself, so why not? Besides that, 863 kills and 148k damage, this is nowhere near to where Bess has gone before, as in she's done way more damage and more kills than that. We got 73k damage, probably around 65k out of the Vampire Fleet Captain's single use of the Kraken's Pull, although for whatever reason the ability made my PC almost explode, and I thought the game would crash, because, yeah, all the frames were lost when I used it. I don't know what it would look like in the replay, or, well, I guess you guys will have seen it since I uploaded it, so, yeah, hopefully it's fine. Anyway, we've got 385 money for that game. Why? But why? Okay, well, I guess we have no choice but to assimilate and destroy the rest of these guys with an auto-resolve. And there's what I wanted. Defeated Thorek, Ironbrow, magic item drop chance plus 25%, armor piercing weapon damage plus 3%, and enemy miscast base chance as well. It's a very decent defeat rate. Obsidian Amulet, another Obsidian Amulet. Alright, and grab Karagrom now as well. Hopefully auto-resolvable, it damn well should be. And, yes it is. Question. It is worth 4.7k if we sack it. I guess the question is, do we keep these mountainous territories? I wasn't gonna, because they're yellow territories, and was gonna eventually trade them all to the Skaven. But what if we end up keeping them? I guess the question is there that much of an advantage to doing so? They won't be able to apply a lot of adjacency bonuses. I mean, other than to other mountain territories, but we obviously won't hold them all. They could act as a buffer zone for anything coming up from here, like the Wood Elves, for example, but on the other... Oh, there's more Skaven over here. I mean, I guess really all that is a question as to whether we should sack this or no. It is 5k. I'd resolve this either way. That doesn't change that, at least. And yeah, 4.7k, well, we obviously shouldn't raise it. It's a tier 3. All the good stuff will be destroyed anyway, so we could take it down to tier 2. And tier 1. It costs 3.6k to upgrade to tier 2. Honestly, this doesn't actually save us much money if we end up keeping this territory. Yeah, you know what, just occupy it. Yeah, if it went down to tier 1, it would have cost us 3.6k to upgrade to tier 2, and then that's 1,000 plus the other buildings. Not worth it. And hello, what do we have here? Pyrotechnic compound, ammunition range, and armor-piercing missile damage. I guess that's gonna have to go on the gunnery white. Actually, don't know how much damage the gunnery white is able to do. Or we put this on one of the pistol-wielding lords. I was gonna say, I don't know how much damage these guys actually do in range. Well, it's probably better than a fireball on you. And you're always firing your pistol, whether you're... Yeah, you know what, fine, well, we'll put it on you, for now. Honestly, if I get another one, I'd love to compare the damage off of a... Oh, you should use this Book of Assure as well. Compare the damage between those. And let's see which one's more worth it. Anyway, let's see what else we've got going for us. We do have decent amounts of cash again, so we will be able to upgrade, though a decent amount of that has to be saved as well. We do want to do some shipbuilding upgrades. I would like Barb Launcher to go up to next tier. Might as well upgrade the gun ports and the upper deck to try to get to those Sartosan pirate mercenaries, and Sartosa Grape Shot. 2,000 gold, but, well, we have the gold now and we may as well use it. Recruiter Sea Legs, Recruiter Sea Legs, yes. Okay, so, Maddie, you are now at rank 10. That is what matters. We'll put you up to fleet, wait. Harry is rank 8, so we could actually put him up to fleet secretary if we wanted. I guess the question is who would we want to be up there. Fleet Enforcement Admiral immediately gives us a +2 Vampire Fleet Captain capacity, which would give us the ability to send a couple of them up north to establish pirate coves, find Silostra, and hunt treasure. And then what? No, but we have to keep both Fleet Engineer and Fleet Treasurer because of the recruitment cost reduction, though I suppose we're not actually recruiting anything right now. We can't lose Fleet Engineer, it's too important. And these are both rank 5. Alright, well, this is what we're gonna do then. I'm just gonna double check. Harry, is your army more expensive than Maddie's? 2.8 versus 2.4. Oh, your army is quite cheap, actually. Alright, fine. Then Maddie, you are going to go Fleet Secretary for the upkeep reduction. Right here. I didn't see what the change was, but it's too late. Then, we'll put... you, Harry. Oh, you can't yet go to Fleet Enforcement Admiral. Because you need rank 10. Only Maddie could go there. I mean, I guess we could switch places with them. Alright, fine. And, oh, it's only once per turn, eh? Okay. We'll then put you here. For a turn. And then put you here for a turn. And there we go. And wait, this gives us about 200 extra gold for the income from ports. Not all that much, but it is something. Alright. Alright, now let's see what else we have to do. Harry, you are now at war with Wulfric. You do still have to, or should, destroy Gwalkazar, which we will do in a second. Can't have Estelle join you, and we have to also not get ourselves so badly hurt that that we're in trouble here. Guess we could let the Skaven keep this coastline. Bit of a shame, nonetheless. Another question is whether we want to keep these guys around. This is a pretty nice territory. If we have this part of the coastline and grab this for ourselves, it might be nice. I'll think about it. Harry, you're gonna attack in a second. Let's do some building. And some diplomacy. Some other stuff before we go. Carrick Grom, for now we're going to assume that we'll keep it. Though that may change. Let's get you immediately, I guess, a plunder pile, and then let's get to you the growth building, tree and noose. Susuria wood will continue to be ignored. These are rank 2, so they're fine. You will be upgraded when I feel like upgrading you. Varezzo. You have the Pirate Hall / Fortress to build, as well as the back alleys for the adjacency bonuses. Alright, get that Pirate Hall going. We need those everywhere as well. And the rest of this stuff is fine, minus the bullion coffers, which do need to be built everywhere. And you know what? Fine, we'll upgrade yours as well. Alright, down goes the money. Trantine Hills. Trantio is nearly tier 3. And Plains of Lucini looks good to me. We should upgrade these as well. It essentially doubles the income from all building bonuses. Maybe we should start upgrading them, but 8,000 gold, remember, for the tooth thing. Tooth Lighthouse, Dragon Tooth Lighthouse, that's it, that's the one. Alright, fine. First of all, we will upgrade you. Rivola. I mean, let's go for Rivola. We'll probably put a defensive structure here in case these guys come down. Which they probably will eventually. What else do we have? Caravan of Blue Roses still wants to trade. Give us your money. And funnily enough, by asking for all their money for all this stuff, we're probably kind of screwing them over. As they won't have money to do stuff. Which might force the... might force the Bloody Hands to win. Well, if we have to destroy the Bloody Hands, we have to destroy the Bloody Hands. We'll see. We'll see. I'd prefer if everything was undead to the south of us. Frankly, it would be nice if we were able to undeadify factions over time, like the Monte Castello faction. Which absolutely should be how the vampires are capable of playing. Well, I imagine if we ever get Lamia as a faction, slash Neferata, then they will have such a function available to them anyway. I digress. Away you go. 1 second, I just realized something. Did I switch your stances, Aranessa? I guess you switched your stances automatically by virtue of... Oh, I didn't switch Recruiter Sea Legs. No need to lose infamy for that. Also, speaking of infamy, we actually have some to spend. I'm tempted to switch to gunnery crews, but you know what? We'll be able to get to our first legendary admiral fairly quick this way, so we'll keep on doing that. I guess, Carrie, it's your time to shine once more. Away you go. We're quickly running out of time, so do one more battle, good sir. Alright, close victory, another nice little fight. The settlement garrison should come in as a reinforcement, so we need to make sure we chase down as many as we can. Go, go, go. Alrighty, round 2 for Harry Halfmast and his animated hulks. This time Vanguard deployed forward in order to make quick work, hopefully, for those this little tiny army deployed outside of the settlement. Alrighty, and it looks like those poor crossbows are not escaping the mass of animated hulks, which should be taking them out reasonably quick. Not much to say tactically about this other than the fact that it's entertaining. Harry's also trying to make his way into the fray to go after that General of the Empire and make sure that he doesn't knock out any of our animated Hulk models here. And, let's see, he should have found the enemy lord by now. Only they could be spotted easily, more easily perhaps. Alright, where are they? Oh, there they are. They're so tiny compared to the animated hulks that I could not find them. And there we go, it's Halberd versus sword and pistol. Empire General looking real fancy there, but hey, he doesn't have a pirate hat, so we know that he will lose. Alright, he's doing a lot of kicks despite having a pistol and a sword, and he should be just about out, wavering, tired in melee, losing decisively, await reinforcements, and hey, oh, one of the animated hulks sends Harry flying, but not to worry, they send the enemy lord flying too. In the meantime, the enemy crossbows have been destroyed, and the enemy reinforcements are just about ready to make their way onto the field. A couple more hits on the enemy General of the Empire, and he'll go down. Somebody better take his head. I think he's gonna get back up from that one. Didn't look like a decisive blow. Alright, animated hulks, you're preventing Harry from getting the kill. Come on now. Oh, the anchor sweep to the face takes the poor general's head. Now that is indeed a pretty darn decisive blow. Though it would be nice if we could erase the enemy. Anyway, that's it for said enemies. I'm going to speed it up until the battle proper is joined, as it was merely an opening skirmish. Looks like the enemy army wants to move around in the trees for a little bit, and we are going to let it while we reposition ourselves over here. We got a fairly nice position with our carronades and our mortars up on top of this hill, where they can fire down. Oh, got rain or snow or soot falling from the sky, kind of can't tell. Anyway, nice position up on this hill, tiny bit of bonus elevation for our bombers, and then of course our piles of animated hulks ready to go as well. They look very strange in the in max speed when they're waiting. Alrighty, and it looks like the enemy army's still not wanting to move. Come on now. Might have to try to annoy them into moving towards us. Generally speaking, when you destroy a little army like the one we did here, the rest of the AI's forces will just move towards you. But, oh, interesting. As soon as we started moving our animated hulks into different positions, the enemy army reacted to that. Yeah, the enemy does react to when you move, but at the very least it got them out of the trees. Obviously when I was playing this, they were all hidden because they were in the forest, and I couldn't see them or what the heck they were doing. Anyway, finally have moved some of our ogre pistols forward. Hopefully they will annoy the enemy sufficiently to actually properly charge us, and allow us to take advantage of our, well, artillery advantage. Hey, don't you go back into those trees, damn it. Alright, guess we're gonna need to do a little bit more ogre skirmishing, but the AI should most definitely fear the concept of the ogre skirmishes, considering the success that Harry has had with it in the past. Anyway, it looks like that was sufficient, and finally the enemy gets annoyed enough to start moving towards us. And Necromancer indeed. Alrighty, some knights hanging around out here, and they're going to take some cannonballs to the face, etc., while the rest of the enemy infantry try to blob their way forward. Not the best idea when you have mortars and carronades firing at you, but, well, I guess this particular faction ain't the brightest penny in the fountain. Anyway, let's see. Looks like the enemy knights are moving a little bit further forward than the rest of the enemy troops, perhaps to try to go after the ogres, but with the carronades firing on them, and the same with the ogre pistols, with, of course, Harry in the way to ready to apply his cavalry bane should he need to, we should be fine. We already know the outcome of this particular skirmish, as Harry did it last time he fought. Alright, the knights are nearly there, but of course the ogres continue firing back and the cannonballs keep on dropping. If the knights want to charge into those animated hulks, they're more than welcome to do so. I think the knights don't know what to do. There's no infantry that they can charge into other than the bombers, and they're behind the line of animated hulks. Looks like this unit of knights maybe wants to play, and we're just going to move 2 of our units of bombers in to react to them. We've essentially made 2 little discrete groups, or 3 I guess, the artillery corps, and then 2 discrete groups of 4 units of animated hulks and 2 units of zombie gunnery mobs with bombs. They will all act together. Anyway, keep on going. A rotting Promethean summoned in the middle of the frame, mostly to distract the units, and on top of that, oh, cannonball hitting. Oh, that poor animated Hulk. It did survive that, but still. Alrighty, the knights charge in, and the bombs come down. I would imagine more effective against the knights than the animated Hulks, but it's a little bit hard to say. The knights are more heavily armored than they are, even if they do have higher model counts. Interesting question. But their relatively tight formation still makes me think that the bombs would still probably dish out more damage to them. Anyway, the rest of the animated Hulks charge forward, undead or no. The way that they move and charge still very much reminds me of the regular ogre units, though their animations, once again, I'm pretty sure, are the Chaos Spawn animation. Anyway, the combo continues to work well as the bombs absolutely obliterate any enemy infantry that blobs around the Hulks, and dishes out very heavy damage, instantly obliterating a unit of halberdiers, and having the HP of a unit of swordsmen, which is about to drop even lower as the second volley comes in. Over in the background, we have the enemy lord being pretty much killed off here. One of the carronades was focusing him down while he was making his way forward. And the rest of the animated Hulks have made their way in to distract the enemy. A Fog of the Damned drops upon about half of the enemy army here, partly to reduce the enemy melee attack, though it's not that we care about it against the summoned denizens of the deep, but also reducing the accuracy of those units of crossbows that aren't currently engaged. Alrighty, and just like with a regular ogre army, our monstrous infantry overrun the enemy lines and have pretty much forced them to collapse. Enemy lord's got a couple more hits on him, and the carronades, I'm sure, will bring him down. Once again, echoing the previous battle with this army, but it does make sense as well. This particular army has a particular way it likes to play. Alright, I want to see that final shot on the enemy lord, and there he goes. And he's out of here. The battle is ours. We got a little bit of chasing to do, but once again, that's going to take some time, and so we'll do it off screen. And basically no damage. I don't know whether we actually lost any of the HP on any of the models on any of our Hulks. Looks like we've got about half HP on Grimbeard's bulks here, but they may have started with that amount of HP, I'm not sure. And it doesn't really matter because it's still relatively little damage. Alright, and once again, this Bombers and Animated Hulks combo working quite well. I think this is also the first battle where the carronades cleaned house at 12k damage and 9k damage apiece. They usually don't do so well, and I'm generally not super fond of cannons and carronades, but not bad. They'll get stronger over time, both due to veterancy and the various upgrades that we can give them, so I'm hoping they'll get better. We are going to 600 money, eh? Or we just heal up these guys. Well, we're gonna have to auto-resolve the remnants of these guys. I think we can sacrifice 600 for making sure that we're at full HP, because here's the thing. We don't know if Wulfric's nearby, and if he is, we don't want him to screw us over. Harry? To Gwalkazar we go, auto-resolve, and that's obviously going to do more damage than the actual battle, as it has a tendency to do. Well, that's a question. Are we keeping this place? You know what? I'm going to assume that we will keep this place, and thus I'm not going to sack it. Though it was tempting. We could build a gunnery right here, but we don't have the capacity for it, and this army will probably never bother with one, as it has too many melee-focused units. This is probably a place where we'll need to build defensive structures, however. And we'll delete you. The defensive structure, just in case, as this will be a new base over on this side of the mountains from the Skaven, especially if we are to fight these guys. Anyway, with that, we are out of time. A couple of fantastic battles this episode, and we're looking for more. Next time, we will send Aranessa up north to hopefully wipe the Ironbrow's expedition out. We should also replace Recruiter Sea Legs in this army with an actual lord. Though I'm not 100% sure as to what exactly this army will look like yet, we will adjust. If we can get a few Mourngulls and Syrenes, then that'll be that army, as I want a stock-themed army that's basically invisible on the map, as it functions pretty differently and it's pretty fun, and I love Mourngulls and Syrenes, and we haven't got nearly enough play from either. Anyway, oh, and of course Maddie will continue her rampage across the Badlands. Anyway, more pirates to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially to Threshold for the hour episode. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.